Sci-Fi MMORPG, or short for science fiction massively multiplayer online role-playing game, refers to a genre of MMORPG that typically looks like and deals with advanced science and technology. What's up, Saviors? GH here. In this video, I'm gonna show you guys free-to-play sci-fi MMORPGs that you can still play today on PC. This video is in no particular order, and with that said, here are free-to-play sci-fi MMORPGs you can still play on PC today. Let's do this! The first MMORPG is RF Online. It's a sci-fi MMORPG released in 2004, and the main focus of the game is the never-ending conflict between three races: the Belato, the Acrisia, and Korra. This is what the early stages of the game is preparing you for an action-packed chip war between the three warring factions. Not only the game is filled with traditional MMORPG features, RF Online is also packed with lore, futuristic maps, weapons, and mechs that a sci-fi fan would definitely love. The second sci-fi MMORPG I'm gonna show you guys is Scarlet Blade, a sci-fi themed traditional MMORPG developed by Liveplex. It's released in 2012, and in just 3 years after it launched, it was shut down. But don't worry, Scarlet Blade is still playable, albeit on private servers. As you're seeing right now, it's quite noticeable that the main thing that the developers focused on is the graphics and the physics. And as you see, it's on full display at the moment. When I played Scarlet Blade early this year, it seems to be a seamless MMORPG experience with a lot of repeatable quests, and it uses tab targeting combat, which is good enough. Overall, I like it, but the population isn't as much as I want it to be. The next game is Entropia Universe. Of all of my MMORPG Let's Play, it's one of the most memorable because for an MMORPG released in 2003, it looked great. I never knew a sci-fi MMORPG like this existed at that time. Entropia Universe is a sci-fi MMORPG through and through. It's undeniable. It features a great tutorial that introduces players to the game, a vehicle system that allows you to summon a full-on vehicle in front of you, a trading and auction system, and it offers a world that lets you travel from planet to planet. Now, sci-fi and fantasy collide in Skyforge, a free-to-play MMORPG with instance and explorable areas. And in this list, it's one of the most recent, featuring gorgeous graphics and action combat. When I played Skyforge, I was amazed at how it looked, and the story is good enough, and if I remember correctly, it starts out in a world protected by immortals, and us, the players, is one of them. We protect the world from monsters, hostile gods, and aliens. The combat in Skyforge is what makes the game shine, in my opinion, which is action, it's fast-paced, and never gets dull. And if you're trying the game out, don't worry about knowing about the other classes, because at the early section of the game, they will allow you to try out the other classes, simulation style. It's a nice preview. Now, we can't make this video without including Star Wars: The Old Republic, an MMORPG based on the popular sci-fi franchise, Star Wars. The game puts you at the center of your own story-driven saga. Play as a Jedi, Sith, bounty hunter, or one of the many iconic Star Wars roles in the galaxy far, far away. And after checking the game out in 2021, I saw that the game has been steadily updated, and looking at my gameplay, I remembered being impressed by the story. Because usually when I play an MMORPG, I ignore the story, but with Star Wars: The Old Republic, I was eagerly waiting for the next story part of the game, because it's well done and it's voiced. Next one over here is an oldie, and it's Anarchy Online. I think it's actually the most retro of the sci-fi MMORPG on the list, because it's released in 2001, 20 freaking years ago. And according to its Steam page, it's the first ever sci-fi MMO. And in Anarchy Online, you can create and choose from a variety of character classes across 4 races, battle and join other players, and explore a breathtaking world. That's Anarchy Online. And in my time playing the game, I remember having a lot of difficulty progressing in the game because it's very rudimentary, and obviously you can tell that the developers are still figuring out how to do MMORPG quests. But I also remembered marveling at an MMORPG that paved the way for future MMORPGs. Next MMORPG on the list is Ace Online. It's a sci-fi aircraft shooter MMORPG released in 2006. In Ace Online, players can pilot their own fighter ships, also known as gears, and take quests like a traditional MMORPG and hang around in a main city with other pilots. To be honest, Ace Online has a good premise. I really like it, and I think it should have a sequel with modern graphics and systems. But if you want to check it out as is, the link is on the screen. Coming up next is Warframe. Are you ready, Tenno? It's a sci-fi looter shooter MMO with RPG elements, and it's released in 2013. In Warframe, you can choose from a variety of suits, which they call Warframe, and each are fully customizable with their own unique abilities. Now, the combat is action. You can slice and dice through hordes of enemies or go in guns blazing. Most people will label Warframe as a looter shooter or a lobby instance hub-based game, which is correct. But if you look at it, it's a massively multiplayer game that's online and it has RPG elements. And next on the list is one of my most feared MMORPG, EVE Online, a sci-fi MMORPG released in 2003, where players can choose their own path from countless different options, experience space exploration, immense PvP and PvE battles, mining, industry, and a thriving player economy. I said I feared this because it's the kind of MMORPG that I can get lost into. And in before, I had to focus on my studies and life, and I've always looked at EVE Online as another RF online that could ruin my studies. And playing it in 2021 made me realize I was right to avoid it, because it's the good stuff. And if you like a true sci-fi MMORPG wherein you control a ship, try EVE Online and see how it goes. And this video would be incomplete without Star Trek Online, a sci-fi MMORPG released in 2010 with a full universe featuring stories from the Star Trek shows. In Star Trek Online, you can customize your captain and go through the game with multiple story arcs featuring content in both space and ground. When I played Star Trek, I was amazed at how detailed the starting area was, wherein I go through the academy, and I also remembered being surprised that aside from the ground combat, there's also shit combat in the game. Even though it's a bit repetitive, it's still fun. And the last sci-fi MMORPG on our list is PS Autonogenesis, an anime MMORPG with sci-fi setting. It's currently my sci-fi MMORPG at the moment. It's fun, but currently it's devoid of content, but I think that's my fault because I played it so much. But I tell you, it's a worthwhile game to check out. And that's the list. And if I missed something, share it in the comments. And if you like the video, hit the thumbs up, share, and then subscribe to be part of the gaming hardcore family. And as always, this is Gaming Hardcore. See you in the next one.